After almost 60 years of strong bipartisan support, Congress has cut all federal funding for public media, stripping away a critical pillar of support for local stations like ours. At Vermont Public, we'll lose at least $2 million this year. If all our sustaining members increase their gift by $7 per month, we'll close that gap for good. Increase your gift today and help close the gap at vermontpublic.org/update.
From Vermont Public, this is The Frequency. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. It's Wednesday, August 20th, and here are today's headlines. President Trump has called for an end to mail-in voting, but Vermont's top election official says such a move would be unconstitutional and, quote, terrible public policy. Secretary of State Sarah Copeland-Hanzis has been a strong proponent of Vermont's universal ballot system. The state sends all voters a ballot 45 days before the general election. Copeland-Hanzis says a majority of Vermont voters used the mail-in system in 2024, and she says there has been virtually no evidence of fraud.
It's absolutely been good for democracy. When we look at the voting participation numbers, people can make better decisions and they're more inclined to participate when they've had the chance to be deliberative with those choices.
President Trump has claimed falsely and without any proof that the Democrats rigged the 2020 presidential election through the fraudulent use of mail-in ballots. Only states and Congress have the authority to change voting laws. Meanwhile, the state of Vermont is suing to block the Trump administration from withholding more than $1 billion in federal crime victim funds from states that don't comply with its immigration enforcement programs. Attorney General Charity Clark joined a lawsuit filed by prosecutors in other states challenging the policy. She tells Vermont Public the president's plan is unconstitutional.
This is not a power he currently has. This is a congressional power. Of course, states have sovereignty. He does not have the power to do this. And the lawsuit is calling him out on that.
Vermont received just over $3 million last year for various victim assistance services, including medical, emergency shelter, and sexual assault forensic exams. The lawsuit represents the 27th case that Clark has brought against the Trump administration. Winooski's mayor is resigning after nearly 7 years in office. Mayor Christine Lott announced in a press release Tuesday that her last day leading the Onion City will be September 15th. She says she's stepping down to prioritize her family, career, and personal life as she expects her first child. Lott first took office in 2019. Under her tenure, the city took on major infrastructure projects. But many Winooski business owners have voiced frustration about the ongoing Main Street revitalization project, now in its second year. They say road construction and detours have hurt their businesses. Deputy Mayor Thomas Renner will step into the role for now. The next mayoral elections will take place on town meeting day in 2026. And Vermonter Jackie Lewis has played the bagpipes for more than 20 years, and she says learning was hard. When someone reaches out to her interested in taking up the instrument, Lewis says she usually issues a warning.
80% of the time, you'll be fighting with it. You'll be like, why am I doing this? For that 20% of the time where everything is just going well and everything sounds great and you're just having the best time.
Well, count last week as part of that 20%. Lewis and fellow Vermonter Hazen Metro competed at the World Pipe Band Championships in Glasgow, Scotland. Both won the top prize in their respective solo amateur competitions. Coming up, we'll tour a new music store in Randolph that specializes in selling vinyl records and CDs, which are at the forefront of a big physical media comeback. That's after this. Physical media is making a comeback in all shapes and forms. An article in The Economist last month noted that while vinyl revival has been underway for 2 decades now, sales for LPs and EPs are as high today as they were in the late 1980s. Vermont Edition producer Daniela Fierro met with Speaking Volumes owner Norbert Ender at his new music shop in Randolph to learn more.
In downtown Randolph, Norbert Ender has opened his 3rd location of his store, Speaking Volumes. I visited the store on a rainy day in July.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Daniela. Nice to meet
Daniela,
you.
good to meet you, Norbert.
Nice to meet you. Do you want to show me around?
So yeah, let's do the physical walkthrough here. I'll introduce you to the building. Our reading corner here, and then It's still in the setup process, obviously. So, and then this is all new arrivals. This is the 3,000 CDs just came in.
Wow. I mean, I know you said you this is kind of like an overflow of the Burlington store, but where do you get, like, that's a lot of boxes of CDs. Where do you get them from?
Well, I do purchase estates, whole estates, and then again, I'm fairly well known already. I've been here 21 years up in Burlington, so yeah, I'm the only one who really buys large quantities of specialized. Where do you go with 3,000 CDs? So yes, they come to me.
The new store is in an old grain mill and farm store along the railroad track. The first floor is filled with vinyl, CDs, cassettes, and used books. There's even a reading nook. The second floor has racks of vintage clothing.
This is my latest acquisition here.
Can you tell me what it is?
This is a jukebox. It's a Wurlitzer.
Where did you get this?
This one came out of an estate. Quite a famous producer owned these. Andy Bailey. He actually just passed away last December, unfortunately. He was Brian Wilson's producer. He produced the last record with Brian Wilson. Also played with Blondie and Patti Smith.
Do you fix these or
This is kind of like a Swiss watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 45s go in here. It's all automated. It's really difficult to find, to service those and maintain them. Ideally, yes, we have worked on them limited, but this mostly mechanical, so there's not, there's electronic in it, but there's really a complicated mechanical process to switch over the records and play them properly. So yeah, this is pretty involved. It can be overwhelming.
Overwhelming is true. When I first started collecting vinyl, I had someone to help me navigate the internet's vast array of different types of turntables. But I was lucky. I asked Ender what his advice is for anyone who is looking to build their own music collection. First, he says you should invest in a good record player, something that's not a Crosley brand record player. Second, it's trying to figure out what kind of collector you want to be.
Again, so the different levels of collecting, like anything else, so the casual listener or the serious collector, or then again preserving historic recordings and stuff and reproducing them, re-recording them, and so forth. So there's a lot of things you can do with them. And everybody collects for different reasons. Some people collect for the artwork that's on the covers, which is a big motivator for the young crowds now.
Besides selling items, Speaking Volumes also repairs home stereo equipment like receivers and speakers. Marin Bove is a new hire at Speaking Volumes. He's worked in the electrical field, but a beginner at what he calls vintage audio. Today, he's working on a Marantz receiver.
And what I've been doing with it is these electrolytic capacitors, all the kind of like cylinder shapes, those get bad over time, especially with these three boards. They had the original electrolytic capacitors on it, and they lose their values over time and sometimes can short out. So we went through and replaced basically every single one of those with a newer version.
Bove recently graduated from college, so some of the equipment he repairs can be up to twice his age. I asked how he knows how to repair these relics of a bygone era, and the answer is simple: the internet.
What's great about these older models is the company who made them publishes the service manual. Every single circuit, every value that it's supposed to have at certain points, it's all listed, and they give you very detailed instructions on how to service the equipment. So this stuff was made to be repaired.
Before this job, he admits he wasn't much of an audiophile, but now he's getting the itch.
I'll listen to music on these to test them, and then I'll go home and I'll listen on my headphones. And I'm like, this is just not the same. The music just isn't the same. So I think I'm becoming an audiophile.
17-year-old Mason Evans is another recent hire. He says his dad has a vinyl collection, and while he likes the sound of it, he doesn't have the money to amass a record collection himself. But he does say,
more of a CD guy.
What do you like about CDs?
I like the physical media. I like the artwork on the cover. Some of them have cool cover art, posters, whatnot. I like the putting in the CD. It's you gotta work for the music. It's just fun to have them, display them, listen to them, functional artwork.
He says he's come to appreciate the work that goes into making an album.
You're not just listening to the music. You're looking at the artwork that someone designed. You're reading the lyrics off the cover. It's It's a closer connection, I feel like, because like I mean on Spotify you get the lyrics, you get artist stuff, but it's not like you're sitting there reading it while you're listening to it. It's just something that you see. I feel like it's a different way of experiencing it.
Do you and your friends like this kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a shared thing. My closest friend, he listens to a lot of tapes because that's the only thing his car will take.
Has your relationship with music changed because of it?
Yeah, I feel like it's a deeper appreciation for albums overall rather than just like shuffling through a playlist. Like, I mostly listen to albums start to finish. I have a few playlists that I listen to when I'm driving, but if I want to listen to music, I put on an album.
For Vermont Public, I'm Daniela Fierro.
Thanks for listening to The Frequency today. We had additional reporting from Bob Kinzel, Mary Engish, and Lola Dufour. Today's episode was edited by Stephanie Colombini, and our music is by Blue Dot Sessions. I'm Mitch Wertlieb. Talk to you tomorrow.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.